Good morning once again. Today we're going to continue our discussion on data structures. So last time we covered up to this line where we use the set.seed function in order to generate uh, the same random numbers, 100 random numbers with a mean of 25 and standard deviation of 5, and also another 100 with a mean of 23 and standard deviation of 5. So we created a data frame from these four vectors: ID, 200, group, also 200, and response, also 200 observations. And then we gave a name, the variable name patient, to this ID vector, treatment to this group vector, and capital R response to this small r vector. So let me run this. Okay, so this is just a repeat of what we have done so far. And uh, it gives us a printout because we put in parentheses the object my data. So here we have my data, and if we check, okay, let me just check the structure of my data. Okay, it's a data frame consisting of 200 observations, and we have here the identified a $patient, which is integer, $treatment, character, and response, which is numeric. And the summary function will give us the six number summary for any numerical. The patient, although it's an integer, it's also numerical. So it did compute for the minimum, maximum, etc. But this doesn't have any meaning at all because it's just an ID. So for the response, also, this is numerical. So we have this output. And for the character, just gives us a count. If this was a factor, then it would give us the frequency count of the different levels. Okay. So we also talked about subsetting. We said that subsetting is very important because if we want to create an object from the original, from the data frame that we created, we can do that. So last time we learned about the function subset. Okay, we can either use this function, for example, this one, my data, and then the brackets is a signal that we're creating a subset. So this one gives us the first 20 rows and the second and third columns from my data. And then we asked what the class of X3 is. So let's run this. So this generates this object X3. Okay, it's also a vector, as you can see, it's in the data. And you have here just like a spreadsheet icon. So we have 20 observations, 20 entries, and 2 columns because we subsetted only the second and the third column. Okay. Now we said that you can use the subset function. Okay, if I do this, we generate this object X3A, and then use the subset function. Again, we use from the my data, and then we define patient to be less than or equal to 20, and then this function select is used in order to choose columns. Okay, select C, treatment, and response. So if you don't have this code, kindly write it down. Okay, so this is one way to do it: subset my data, which is the object that we want to subset, and then we define for the specific number of observations, we define it to be patient, and then it's less than or equal to 20 because patient our patient object. Okay, I haven't viewed my data. No, I haven't accessed it. Let me view my data here. Okay, our patient is the column of IDs from 1 up to 200. So in this code chunk, this code, the patient we were interested in is from less than 20, so that's from 1 up to 20, and then select treatment and response. So this will generate an object data frame X3A. Okay, so we have here X3A, which is the same as this one, X3. Okay, so the subset function is more powerful, it's more robust than the bracket. Okay, and the bracket, then using the bracket. Okay, so another way actually to go about this is to make use of the dplyr package. So the dplyr is a package that you need to install. So why don't we install that? Kindly go to packages and then install, and then type dplyr. Okay, I will not install this because I already have this. So dplyr, please install that. And once you install it, you'll now find it under packages, and then dplyr. So type dplyr there, dp. Okay, so you now have this dplyr, and then just check this so that we access it. We learned that automatically this will load the package via the library. Okay, so give me please a thumbs up or give me a yes if you're done installing the dplyr package and loading it. Thank you, Nazim. Let's wait for the others. Okay, good. Okay, for those of you who were my students in FinStud, you know we had several sessions on dplyr. For those of you who were not my students, this might be new to you. However, let me point your attention towards the help function. If you go to the help tab here, help, you'll find here some cheat sheets. Okay, I think I forgot to mention this to you. Cheat sheets, and then here you have cheat sheets on dplyr, ggplot2, list manipulations with per package, Shiny, this is for web application, and then our markdown reference guide. Okay, and then you can also browse. Let's browse cheat sheets, for example, and post it, or RStudio will give us a list of several cheat sheets here. Cheat sheets for per, readr, tidyr, quite a number here, ggplot2, etc. Lubridate. So to date, there are how many? So quite a number of cheat sheets. Are markdown, forecasts. This is used for forecasting, and then Shiny, DevTools, Reticulate. Okay, this is from Python. Okay, etc. Okay, but for today, we're just going to use the cheat sheet from this help cheat sheet, and then let's click dplyr. Okay, and then it will download the dplyr cheat sheet. And let me just point to you, we're not going to have a full session on dplyr, but I just want to tell you that this is readily available in R. Okay, so you may download this and keep this as a reference. So dplyr is a package for data transformation. Okay, data transformation is very powerful for grouping cases, manipulating variables. So take a look at this one. There are lots and lots of functionalities here. Okay, summarizing, combining tables. So if you have two data frames, two tables, you can combine them. Okay, changing row names, etc. Okay, filtering. So where's our filter here? Where's the select function? Okay, summarizing. All right, so many things to learn from this one. Okay, so and then we can also we can click this dplyr. All right, so this is grammar of data manipulation. Okay, and then you have here several functionalities there. So these are the functions that you can use. Let's take a look at the description file. Okay, package deployer, a grammar of data manipulation. So developed also by Wickham, Hadley Wickham, the one who developed ggplot2. Okay, so it's a fast, consistent tool for working with data frame, data frame-like objects, both in memory and out of memory. Okay, so there are examples. There are examples that we can use in the function itself. Okay, so let's have an example. Okay, for example, here let's go to filter. Okay, filter is used to subset rows using column values. So let's click this filter, and this is the syntax, the data, and then the filter that you want to use. Okay, for example, yeah, let's have an example here. Okay, so let's copy this. Star Wars is a data set that you can use. It comes prepackaged with R and R. Okay, let me first start with data. Star Wars. This is from since we have already downloaded the deployer, we can make use of this. Oops, sorry. Data Star Wars. Okay, let's enter, and then let's view this. All right, so it's now here. So you have here, okay, if you're familiar with the Star Wars anthology, this gets in the way. So it's not yet here. So let me view it. View. Star Wars. Star Wars. Okay. Okay, so we have this. This is the name of the character, Chewbacca, R2D2. I'm pretty sure that you're familiar with this series. And then you have here several. This is the starship that character belongs to, the vehicle that they use, the film where the character appears, The Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith, etc. Species, is it a droid, a human? I'm not familiar with where its residence is, the gender, kung may gender man siya. Okay, iba pa yung sex at saka gender. Birth year, okay, eye color, etc. So this is okay, let's take a look at the structure of this. Structure, Star Wars. Dami kasing mga variables. Ilan bang variables niya? 14 variables. So, ito yung data niya, no? It's a table. It's a data frame. So you have here the name, the height, kung anong klaseng ano siya, no? Kung anong klaseng character, kung anong klaseng data. Okay, so from here, okay, let's make use of the function as an example. Diba? Ito si deployer. Okay, so sabi dito, I think na-copy ko siya. No? Okay, here. All right. I'm creating this object. Let me. Okay. Isa lang muna, no? Para makita kagad natin. Okay, I'm using this filter function to filter Star Wars, and then sabi ko dito, yung species dapat yung human lang. Because if we take a look at species here, asan na si species? Here is species. So di ba may human, may droid, etc. In fact, kung tinignan natin class, sandali, balikan ko tong ano yung structure natin. Si species ba ano? Ginawa na ba siyang factor? So species. Okay, character pa rin siya, no? Character. So we can convert that as a factor. Ito. Where's that? Okay, species character siya. So, but this could very well be be a factor. Okay, so anyway, let me run this one, filter, control enter, and then what do you find here? Okay, so we were able to filter. Okay, hindi nagkasya sa isang line, pero okay, hindi siya kasya, no? With 25 more rows, maybe it's best for us. let's give this an object name. Let's call it ST1, Star Wars 1. Okay, we're creating this object which is coming from the Star Wars, and where we filtered the species human. The original data is made of 87 observations. When we create ST1, ito na, 35 observations lang siya. Let's open this, and then you can see now that all the species are human. Wala nang droid, wala nang ibang species ang dito. Okay, so another example here is yung filter naman daw, yung mass is greater than 1,000. So if we take a look at mass, so ang lalabas lang dun, lahat ng may mass na more than 1,000. Okay? All right. So also this one, while we're here, let's now use this class. Let's filter now, Control C, we copy this, Control V, and let's create another object. Let's call it ST2, Control minus, oops, sorry, ST2. So we're filtering Star Wars. Their hair color should be none. So kasi dito yung hair color, merong black, may gray, may none. And dapat eye color should be black. So the use of the ampersand here, yung and, requires both conditions have to be met. So we're going to create this data frame S2. When we look at the hair color, none siya. Tapos yung eye color, black siya. Okay, let's see. Okay. Control enter. By the way, so we're using this filter, diba? Filter is a function that we use in order to choose from among the observations by using the column, the variable. So pinifilter natin yung observations, yung rows, by defining kung anong variable using the variable. So dito ginagamit natin si variable na none, hair color na none, at saka si eye color na black. So let's run this, and then let's take a look at ST2. 9 observations lang, no? Here, right? So hair color none, eye color lahat black. Okay, so far class? And the difference between that one and this one, kino nyo to? Ito yung pipe symbol, no? Ito, or to, no? Or, which means either none or hair color none or hair color black. So let me change this with, okay, arrow up, arrow down, okay, arrow up. And then let me change this with the pipe operator. Saan yung pipe operator ko? Yan. Si pipe operator class, it's on top of the forward slash keyboard. Right here, we're saying, filter natin si Star Wars. Hair color dapat walang hair color, tapos, or eye color, black. So what will happen now is that there will be, probably there will be more than 9 entries. Kasi, for as long as the hair color is black, isasama niya kahit na, for as long as the eye color is black, isasama niya even if yung hair color hindi none, and vice versa. So let's run this. Let's make it S23. Okay, control enter. And then, yeah, 38 observations, no? As compared to ST2, Star Wars 2, which is just 2. Okay, let's take a look at the uh, output. Hair color, may NA nga dito. No? Okay, so lahat ng hair color na none kasama. No? Okay, meron ba ring hair color na hindi none? Yes. Ano yun? Ito, NA, ano? Hair color na NA, kasama siya. Okay, and then yung eye color, black. So hindi lang black. No? Merong mga non-black, nyari yellow, but as long as hair color niya, none. Okay, ito naman, eye color niya black. So it doesn't matter what the hair color is, as long as the hair color is black. Okay, so let me pause for a while. May I request you to chat, please, if we're okay so far. Am I going too fast? Any questions? Any clarifications? Waiting for the others. Okay, so kahit na hindi, yung iba class, may questions ba? Kasi 12 lang ang nag-respond out of 25. What's happening to the others? If you have questions, please feel free to ask questions. Okay. All right. So I'm already using this class as an example. So if we understand this, you'll be able to understand what the codes that I included in our notes. In fact, this is more comprehensive. All right. So here, notice here, filter Star Wars hair color is equal to none, and then instead of using the ampersand and we're using comma. So when you use comma, this is the same as n. Okay. So I hope that's clear. That the comma here is an end statement. All right. Now let me introduce you to this pipe operator. This is very important. Okay, this one, the pipe operator, is a very powerful function because it allows us to do multiple steps, okay, in just one code. Okay, so let's follow this. Please copy this. Control C. I'll copy it and then go here. Sorry. Control. Oops. No. Okay. Control C. Okay, take a look at this. So we have here Star Wars, and then this is called your pipe operator. Now the shortcut for this is Control Alt M. Sorry, Control Shift M pala. For Mac, I think it's Command Shift M. Okay, could you kindly check? Control Shift M, because it's we're going to type this. It's a long code. It's take too many keyboard strikes. But if we just press Control Shift M or Command Shift M, could you kindly confirm if you get this? This is what we call your. It's called your pipe operator. Okay. That's your pipe operator. Okay, could you kindly confirm if it's in your Windows, it's Control Shift M or Mac Command Shift M, please? Okay, chat, please, if you were able to get this one. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. So we have this object, Star Wars. We start with that. And then, okay, this means and then. Pagkatapos, sa Tagalog, no? So you start with Star Wars and then i-filter down natin. Paano i-filter? Si mass, ang mass dapat should be greater than yung average ni mass. Okay? Yung average ni mass. Ang isasali lang niya sa mass will be the average of mass. Dapat tanggalin niya na.rm is equal to 2. Why? Let me just show you. Mean of, kunin natin yung mean ni Star Wars mass. Di ba may mass? Kunin muna natin yung names. Names of Star Wars. Ano nangyari? Okay, wait. Sorry ha. Let me, kasi hindi siya naka-ano eh. Hindi siya naka-code siya. Let me copy this both. I-run ko muna tong ano. Run ko muna tong names. Okay, so ito yung mga names, ano? Andun si mass. Let's get the average of mass. Okay, kunin natin average niya. And bakit nag-error? Class. Bakit nag-error? Bakit nag-NA? Di ba si mass, ano siya? Numerical si mass, oh. Why, class? Can anyone tell me why we're not able to compute for the mean of mass? Mass? Okay, we're not able to compute for the mean of mass kasi may missing value siya. Okay, if I look at mass, may mga NAs, oh. So pag may mga NAs, hindi makakapag-compute. So what we have to do is we have to impose that NA.rm. Okay, NA.rm means yung mga missing, i-remove natin is equal to true. Okay, so we're imposing that R removes yung mga NA. Okay, so when we do that and then compute for the mean, nagkaroon na, no? 97.31186. So that's the mean of the variable mass. And a while ago, when we did not include this, it did not compute, nag-NA siya, nag-error siya. So we have to remove any RM there. All right, so when we go here, siguro dito ko na i-run to, ha? Control C. Let me put this here. And then siguro dito na. All right. Star Wars, and then, sabi natin, start with Star Wars, and then if you filter niya, yung mass dapat should be greater than the mean of the mass. Then lagyan natin NA.rm is equal to 2. So let's create an object called, tawagin natin itong ST4. Star Wars number 4. Okay, so let's see what will happen. ST4, Star Wars, and then if you filter natin. So the function filter will choose among the observations, among the rows. So kung pumipili tayo sa mga rows, gagamitin natin si filter. Kung ang pinipili natin columns, yung mga variables, ang gagamitin select. So these are the two very important functions in dplyr. Sorry. Okay, so let me run this ST4. Okay, we now have this object. ST4. Okay, let me see this. 10 observations lang. And then if we take a look at this, tingnan natin yung mass. Ayan, di ba? Greater than the mean. Eh, ang alam natin yung mean, 97, right? So what we have here are the mean only greater than 97. Okay, so let's go back here. So you can, class, that's why there's no reason for you really to not to learn R. Kasi may ang ganda ng mga examples eh. Tapos andyan na yan, given na yan. So if you're really interested in really improving your skills in R, nobody can prevent you. Kasi yung tutorial ni R, it's already enough in itself. All right, tingnan natin to ah. Now, this is another good example. So tingnan natin, Star Wars, and then i-group by daw. So si group by, tingnan natin, copy natin to. There's this also function, grouping by. So pag group by niya, okay, group by, ang gagawin niya, parang i-classify niya. Kasi yung gender, diba? Take a look at gender dun sa Star Wars natin. Gender, saan na si gender? Either masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine, may NA. Masculine, feminine lang. Okay, and then may mga NA. All right, so what is this code all about? Star Wars, and then, again, Control-Shift-M to group by. So this is another function in dplyr. Group by gender, and then if you filter, okay, yun ito. If you filter, tapos ang i-generate lang niya yung mass with the mean greater than, yung kanina natin to, no? Mean, okay, parang kulang to ng mass is, okay, filter, mean of, ayan, may parenthesis, mean of the mass and a.rm is equal to 3. Okay, let's create another object for this one. Let me call this ST5. Para lang mas madali natin makita dito. Control Enter, and then we have ST5 here. Okay, let's take a look at this. Okay, what happened? So Star Wars, and then group by gender. And then filter, mass is greater than 127. All right, so ang nangyari dito, ang pumasok lang na na mass is greater than the mean, right? And then dito yung gender, what happened? What happened here, class? Ano nangyari dun sa group by? Ngayon, 14 entries lang tayo. Yung original nito is 87, di ba? So what happened? Anyone? Anyone, class? Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
is it parang na-filter din po yung sa gender? Kasi meron din po mga gender na NA. So,
May- may-
ang kinonsider lang po ni R ay yung may gender, pero at the same time po, yung may filter po na
Tinanggal niya yung N and A, no? Okay. So, tingnan natin so, anong nangyayari dito? Kinuha niya yung mean, no? Kinuha niya yung mean ng by gender, no? So, di ba ang gender natin either masculine or feminine? Correct? Tama, class? Diba?
Yes, sir.
Tapos, kinuha niya yung average ng masculine and then kinuha niya yung average ng feminine. Okay, and then ang sinama lang niya, kasi group by niya muna, no? Group by niya by gender. So, lahat ng masculine pinagsama-sama niya, lahat ng feminine pinagsama-sama niya. Okay. Tapos, finilter niya, kinuha niya yung sa gender, yung average ng gender, dapat ang papasok lang yung may mga gender na na ano class? Na the average is greater than the average ng masculine gender, okay, at saka greater than the average ng feminine gender. Kuha, class? Okay, sige, ganito gawin natin para let's filter si gender. Ang isama lang natin si masculine. So how do we do that? How do we do that? So let's create this object ST6, no? For discussion purposes. So copy lang natin to. Star Wars, Control C, Control V, Star Wars, and then i-filter natin, Control C, Control V, filter, okay? And then gender is equal to masculine. Okay? Yeah. Let's see, no? So Star Wars 6, Star Wars, and then i-filter natin, dapat gender lang na masculine. Let's run. So let's take a look at this. Si ST6 natin, let's take a look at gender. So lahat to masculine na lang, di ba? Masculine na lang yan. Right? Then let's take a look at, compute natin yung mean, okay? Mean ng ST6, tama? ST6 mass. Compute natin yung mass dito, tapos tanggalin natin NA.Rm is equal to true. So what am I doing here? We're going to compute now the mass of ST6. But si ST6 is a data frame that only contains masculine lang, di ba? Tama? Kung kunin natin yan, okay. So the mean of masculine is 106. Okay. Now let's create this time. I'm going to create, para mas mabilis, ST7. Tapos ang gender naman, feminine. Okay? There. So I'm going to create another object na feminine ang laman niya, ST7. Okay, so si ST7, lahat siya feminine na lang, no? Yan, feminine. Tapos, let's also compute for the mean. Up, ST7. Kunin natin yung ST7 na mean and A.Rn is equal to true. Control Enter. So ang average ni feminine, ni masculine is ang mass niya 106.15. Ang average sa ni feminine is 54.7 approximately. Okay, let me pause for a while and paki-check nga please kung makahabol kayo dyan. I might be going too fast. Were you able to follow? Let's wait for the others to give their feedback. Sana nakaka-ano kayo. Pag may mga questions, class, please feel free to ask. Huwag mag-pretend na nakakahabol kasi it's your loss, no? Mas maganda nga yung may nagko-question para mas nagiging clear. Okay, let's give your classmates a few more seconds before we continue. Okay. All right. So nakuha natin average ni feminine, nakuha natin. Oh, there's another way to do this, class, kaso siguro some other time natin i-discuss yun. Mas mabilis yung summary function, no? Pero ito na muna para makita nyo what's happening. All right. So back to our itong ano natin yung group by, no? Ito. Anong object to ST5? ST5 ba yan? Was that ST5? Okay, ito, no? ST5. Alright. So, di ba dito group by natin tapos kinumpute natin yung alright. Tingnan nyo, class, yung ano. Tingnan nyo yung lumabas dito. Masculine 136. Masculine 120. Feminine 75. So, do you notice something here? Feminine 57. So, anong nangyari dito? Okay? Kinumpute niya kasi group by natin, group by gender, and then kinuha yung mean, no? Mean of the masculine and mean of the feminine. Tapos ang linagay lang niya yung mga mean by gender na greater than the mean of the genders. No? Ang mean ni masculine 106, ang mean ni feminine 54.7. So you cannot see here any mass that's lesser than 106 for masculine and that's less than 54 for feminine. Okay? Get the okay, I hope it's clear, class, no? So this one, group by niya muna, sa kanya finilter. Okay, so that's this is a very good example of how to do filtering. So mas ano talaga, class, no? mas powerful talaga yung learning are through examples like this. So that's the filter. Tingnan naman natin yung isa, yung select. Okay, so at least maano natin yung dalawa, no? Select, let's go here. The select function here. So this is selecting columns. Okay, kuha ulit tayo na example dito. Okay, maganda ba yung example na dito? Okay, so library diverse, I think narana natin to, no? And then this iris package, may sige, i-ano na muna natin, make sure na naka-run si ano. So packages, diverse, di ba? It's a maraming kasamang ano yan, maraming kasamang packages. Kasama dun si dplyr. I-load na muna natin si diverse. Okay, and it will include si dplyr. Tingnan nyo, no? So diverse is a family of packages. Andyan si ggplot, si table, etc. May iba pa dyan, no? May iba pang kasama. Okay, so let's also load tidyverse and library. And then let's go now to the saan na tayo kanina? Help ulit tayo. Okay, ito. No? Help dito kay select function. All right. So let's there's this data called iris. No? So sige, i-view muna natin data iris. Yan, this is from the datasets package. Tingnan muna natin siya. Yan, and then i-view natin view iris. Okay, ano laman ni iris? Yan, these are different types of flowers. May setosa, merong versicolor, may virginica. Tatlong klase of flowers to. And then may measurement siya ng sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width. Okay, 107 observations, 150 observations, 5 columns. So this is a data frame. Okay, again, structured iris. So it's a data frame, and then lahat ng mga numerical, except for the species, which is factor with 3 levels. And it's always good practice to get the summary, iris. Okay, ayan, so makikita natin dito yung breakdown, no? Okay, yung mga 5 number summaries plus the mean, and then here the frequency distribution ng setosa, versicolor, at saka virginica, breakdown niya. Okay, so here, data frame kasi si iris, dito, kino-convert siya into a table. Sige, run natin to. Control-C, Control-V. Iris. So may iris dataset na tayo na data frame. Okay, data frame siya. Tingnan natin ulit. Here, data frame. And then we're going to convert it into a table. Sabi natin may mga specific advantages yung table. STR, iris. So it's now a table, no? Table na siya. May mga specific advantages ang table, which is a special kind of data frame. All right, so tingnan natin to. No? All right, first, let's run this. Control-C, Control-V. Okay, Star Wars, and then select lang yung height. No? So if we're filtering, we're subsetting, and we want a particular, gawin natin tong bakit Star Wars pa rin ginamit ko dito? Okay, so example lang to, no? Iris tapos Star Wars ang ginamit niya. Naka-fun. Alright, so yan, class. Tingnan yung object na to. Select height. So you now have here an object. Ayan, di ba? Although hindi tayo nag-create ng pangalan ng object. But now you have height lang yung lumabas. So when you're choosing specifically a column, then you use select function. When you're using rows, you use the filter function. Okay, so dito, ito, may pivoting na to, no? Which is a good thing to learn din, yung pivot longer, okay, at saka pivot shorter. Okay, let's just copy this. Control-C. Okay, ang daming pang. Okay, so let's call this. Let me just call this object iris1, no? IR1. So we're creating this object, and then we're using the iris dataset, and then this is a function, pivot longer, sepal dot length. So what will this function do? Natin. So IR1. Okay, take a look at this. Pivot longer. Yung iris1 dataset, ganito. So si sepal length, andi dito siya. Here, with 150 observations. Now, pivot longer, ang gagawin niya, ito, gagawin niyang part of the variable. If you take a look at iris1, tingnan nyo. Nagka-name dito na sepal.length. right? Sepal.length and then andito yung value. So nawala yung ano dito, nawala yung sepal length, no? Andun pa rin si sepal width, si petal length, petal width. Andun pa rin si species. Pero yung pivot longer, ang ginawa niya, nag-create siya ng variable na ang laman lahat sepal.length. Tapos yung value niya andi dito, no? Which is the same one as this one. Okay. Andito yung value. Okay. Linagay niya beside it yung sepal.length. Okay. All right. Ang hinahanap lang sana natin yung ito. Right. So yung select lang ano. I will leave you guys to discover more yung other functionalities in dplyr, but yung what I showed you a while ago, yung tutorial, yung cheat sheet, ang dami niyo na matututunan doon. All right. So let's use again the Star Wars package. Okay. Anyway, hindi na natin i-run. Ito na lang. No? Star Wars and then select homeworld, height, mass. It will generate now this object where we have ang mga variables lang natin, homeworld, height, at saka mass. Okay? So yan ang nangyari by the select function. So the select function will allow us to choose among the different variables. Okay. Like this one, Star Wars, and then select from name hanggang mass. Okay? From name daw hanggang mass. Nasaan na si Star Wars? Here, Star Wars, no? So ano yung mga variables natin? Name, height, mass. So dito, select name up to mass. Yung column dito up to mass. So we now have name, height, and mass. Right? On the other hand, Star Wars, and then select not, ito not, excluding name to mass. So it will include all the other variables except name and mass. Okay, yung exclamation point dyan, it means not. All right? Okay, so there are other examples here. I'm going to let you discover that for yourself. But suffice it to say, class, that in terms of subsetting, okay, in terms of doing filtering, choosing among observations, the way to go really is the dplyr. Okay. All right. So next, any questions about that, class? So I will not run any more this codes. I leave that to you. Kasi yung pinag-aralan natin mas mas powerful pa dyan. Okay, pause. Any questions? Okay, clear so far? Paki-chat naman please kung clear so far. Okay, good. Thank you. Siguro, maybe just one last, no? So na lang. Itong summarize. Just take a look at this. Summarize, and then let's take a look at an example. Okay. Sana Star Wars yung ginamit. May Star Wars example ba dito? Wala. Pero, okay lang to. Empty cars. Okay. So, there's this other data set, empty cars, which comes pre-packaged with R. Let's take a look first at that data para I'm not sure if I discuss this with you. Data, empty cars, ba? Yan, no? It comes with data sets package. Empty cars. Let's and then let's view that. Let's access it and then view it. View na lang din natin, empty cars. Sabay-sabay na. And then let's run this. Okay, so ito siya, no? So these empty cars contain 32 entries, 32 observations with 11 variables. If we get the structure of this, so lahat halos numerical except may mga factors dito. Pwedeng yung cylinder, pwedeng factors yan, carburetor, numerical din yan. O pwedeng factor din. Anyway, let's take the structure of empty cars. All right, so numerical lahat, no? Si cylinders, numerical din. Although sabi nga natin, pwede rin convert yan as a factor. Okay, but anyway, I just want to show you the power of yung dplyr. Let's copy this, Control C, Control V. Okay. Okay. Para isang line lang. All right. So we have here empty cars, and then isa-summarize. Okay. Isa-summarize, creating an object called mean is equal to mean of the displacement. So this is the displacement variable. Okay. So we can create now a summary of the mean of the displacement, and n is equal to this function n. Okay, will give us the raw numbers. Sige, i-summarize natin to. Okay, here we have mean and then n. All right, so pinapa-summarize mean ng displacement at saka mag-create din daw ng isang variable na n is equal to yung count ng empty cars. So 32. Okay, you can see here. So let's create an object. The M1 natin to, M1. Okay, I'm creating an object here called M1. Okay, Control Enter. And then M1 here. Okay, this is a vector, no? This is a data frame. Structure ng M1. Okay, so it's a data frame containing the mean, numerical, and n, which is an integer. Okay, so it's a data frame. Right, so that's one example whereby we can easily compute. And then isa-summarize lang niya. So ito naman, by cylinder naman, no? Okay, but we have here some quantile. So we'll not go into that na muna. Kasi magko-quantile siya. I don't want you to get confused. So ito na lang, let's use this. Yung si Star Wars natin. Control C. And then let's see what this does. Control V. All right, so here we're creating an object called var. Var is equal to mass. Okay. Var is equal to mass. Refer to column name stored as strings with the that data pronoun. All right. All right. Var is equal to mass, and then summarize. Kaso hindi tayo nag-ano dito, ano? Okay, hindi. No, I don't want this kasi wala tayong ano. Gusto ko yung may pipe operator tayo. Okay. Okay, sige, ito na lang. This one. Control C. Kaso may warning siya dito. No? Control V. Okay, empty cars, and then group by cylinder, and then isa-summarize. Summarize, displacement is equal to mean of the displacement. Standard deviation is equal to SD ng displacement. So magkikreate siya ng dalawang columns, this at saka yung SD. Let's see what happens. No? It starts with empty cars. Let's create an object out of this. Call it M2. Let's see. M2. All right. All right. So here we have, okay, by cylinder niya, may 4, may 6, may 8. Kinuha niya yung average ng displacement. Yun, at saka, kinuha niya yung SD. No? Kinuha niya yung SD ng displacement. Now, nag-warning siya dito. SD is equal to SD ng displacement. Sabi niya dito, beware, reusing variables may lead to unexpected results. So dito, nag-error siya, no? Okay? Nag-error siya kasi SD is a function. Tapos ginamit niya ng pangalan. Ito kasi, dito, hindi naman siya function eh. So let's reword this. Okay, instead of using this function, let's make it, sabihin natin yung stdev, control enter. So na tayo. And then M2, okay, error pa rin, no? Naging problem dito. So, dito, okay, dito, okay, now I know. Kasi, class dito, ang ginawa natin dito, we use a name, disp, no? So yung disp, ito na. Ito na yung disp natin eh. And then, we got, sorry, mali ako dito It's not the SD that's the problem, but rather, it's this name, the disp. No? So dapat, okay, the disp is a variable in empty cars. Dapat sana yung pangalan natin ng variable natin dun sa bagong object natin should have been a different one. Let's call it this one. So that here we can now have an object, a variable called SD, still using the disp. Ito. Sorry, I stand corrected. Yung problema natin dito sa variable, dito sa function na to, sa code na to, is that we created a variable called disp. So pagdating dito, ito na yung disp. Okay? So hindi na makakapag-compute ng standard deviation si R, no? So dapat standard deviation pa rin ng disp, mean pa rin ng disp. Okay, so let's see this. Let's run this now. All right, yun, tama na siya. Okay. So na-compute pa niya yung standard deviation ni cylinder, yung 4 cylinders. Standard deviation ni 6 cylinders, tsaka 8 cylinders. Therefore, class, yung kanina ginawa natin, nasabi kong long cut, yung long cut, yung sa masculine at saka sa feminine, computing for their mean, it would have worked with this one. Group by yung gender, and then pwede natin i-summarize yung mean nila. Kaysa yung sineparate pa natin, nag-create pa tayo ng object for masculine, nag-create tayo ng object for feminine, tapos kinuha pa natin yung mean nun. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, we did the long cut just for you to see the process. Pero ito, knowing summarize plus, madali. I-group lang natin i-group natin. Sige, why don't we do that, no? So sige, ST10 na lang. Okay? And then Star Wars, just to illustrate that. Control Shift M. So what do we do? Summarize natin. Group by, group underscore by. I-group natin by by gender, di ba? Group by gender. And then Control Shift M. Okay, summarize natin. Summarize, paano natin summarize? Okay, summarize. Let's call it sige, average or ano ba? Average mass is equal to mean ng mass. Okay, take a look at this. So I'm creating this object ST10. So let's use the Star Wars package and then i-group by natin. Diba ito yung ginawa natin kanina? I-group by natin si gender, masculine, feminine. And then, summarize natin. Summarize natin, average, let's call it average mass is equal to mean of the mass. So what will happen here? Unang-una, gagamitin niya si Star Wars. Tapos, i-group by niya yung gender. So yung gender natin, masculine at saka yung feminine. And then, magsa-summarize siya. Kukunin niya yung mean ng mass. Okay? So let's run this, ST10, control enter. And then we have this. Okay, tingnan nyo. Okay, dapat dito, average mass. Yung ginawa natin dito. Summarize, average mass is equal to mean ng mass. Okay. May kulang tayo dito. May mga ano kasi, no? NA.rm is equal to true. Tatanggalin dapat natin yung mga NA. Alright. May mali pa rin, no? May NA pa rin. Group by, sumama kasi yung NA dito eh. So dapat, sa group by gender, tatanggalin na natin yung okay. Group by gender, let me see, NA.rm is equal to 2. Okay. Let me see this. Control enter. Mali pa rin, no? Okay, sorry You can override using that group's argument. Okay, medyo matatagal na ako guys na i-decipher, ano? Star Wars and then group by natin na gender. Okay, mali ito, no? Sorry, nag-a-adlib ako dito, no? Group by gender, tapos isa-summarize natin, okay? Mean, tawagin natin mean is equal to average ng mass. Tama naman, kaso NA.rm is equal to true. Okay. 1, 2. Summarize. Mean is equal to mean ng mass. .rm. So baka, okay, is equal to true. So I think yung syntax dapat niya, yun. I think this is correct now. Yung mean, andun dapat sa loob yung ano. Okay, sige. I hope this is correct now. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's see. All right, yun. Okay, sorry. So nagkamali ako kasi dapat nasa loob ng mean yung ano yung NA.rm. All right? So dito kasama pa rin yung ano no, yung NA. Okay, so sinama niya pero nung in-average na niya, pwede na. No? Pwede na niyang group by and then sinamarize na niya. So lahat ng feminine 54, nakuha natin to kanina. Yung masculine 106, yung NA naman 48. Of course, you can remove this NA by the filter function. Diba yung filter, pwede natin tanggalin yung NA. Okay, but for this information, okay lang naman kasi lahat doon ng mga NA, ang average 48. Okay, so it's almost time, but by way of reminder, plus you can just leave. No? I'm going to continue. This time, I'm going to do the date function. Okay. So here, Dates are very important to us kasi yung unang lesson natin, which is portfolio, we will do many date functions. So here we're creating an object called X, and this X consists of 3 elements here. And if we get the class of X, this is the character. Kasi di ba yung character merong naka-code siya, no? Naka-code siya. Okay. So R treats the vectors as characters. Now we would want to create dates kasi importante sa atin yung dates. Okay. So we're going to need the lubridate package. So if you haven't installed the lubridate package, kindly do that now. And then let's load it. Load ko na siya. Library. Okay, so let's take a look at lubridate help function. All right, help. Lubridate provides tools that make it easier to parse and manipulate dates. Okay, so there are other important notes here. Sabi natin dito, sabi, users should choose the function from whose names models the order in which the year, month, and the day elements appear. Okay, so you have DMY, this is the date, month, year, MYD, YMD, YDM. So these are the several combinations, no? How you can write the date. Tapos meron ding YMD underscore HMS, hour, minute, second. So very flexible to. Very flexible and user-friendly parser is provided by parse date time function. Okay, so let's have examples here. Okay, so kailangan tingnan natin yung dito tayo tumingin sa ano yung mga functions ni okay. Packages. Tingnan natin dun sa documentation mismo. Lubridate. Okay, here. Lubridate. Yan. So these are the functions and walang mga examples, no? Yung mga examples ando dun sa function mismo. Okay, let's take a look at this. So for example, DMY, MDY, etc. So MDY, for example, year, month, day. Okay, let's take a look at this. All right, example here. Ayan, ito pala, no? Ito na yun no? I got it from this one. Okay, so okay, let's run this. Okay, so we're creating this object X. It consists of 090101, 090102, and we would like to make it as a date. Kasi yung X, it's ito, character to. And in order to convert it into a year, month, day, okay, so this is, palitan natin to ng ano. Sabihin natin, 2009, December 1, December 2, and December 3. So let me run this, Control Enter. All right. So initially, yung X should have separated it. Run ko ulit, Control C, Control V, and then let me get the class of X. So this is character. And then let me run Control C, Control V. Okay, I'm now using YMD of X and then class of X. Okay. So what do we have now? Oops. Saan na siya? Okay. Now, if you take a look at this, YMD, so this is year, month, and day. Kaso character pa lang din siya. Okay, character siya kasi we haven't converted it into a into a date. So how do we convert it? Na-install ko na ba si Lubridate? Right, so we have this. Andito si X natin, character. And then I'm going to run this. X.date. So I now have this X.date. No? Okay, so tingnan niyo yung format nito. Hindi na siya character. It's now a date format kasi we use this MDY function. Month, day, and then year. Saan yung X natin? So this is our X, 9/12/01. Okay, and what we did was to convert it into a month, and then a day, and year. And then when we got the class, yung class niya, it's already a date function, a date object. Okay, so there are other examples here. Let's say your birthday was October 14, 1979. So you wrote it this way. This is the day, this is the month, and this is the year. Okay, you wrote it this way. So we're creating this object bday, and then it's equal to day, month, and the year. By the way, class, just a reminder, you may leave the session, okay? Kasi it's already time. So I'm just going to continue, okay? So you don't need to ask permission. But if you still want to stay, anyway, naka-record naman to, and then I'll post it. So I'm creating this object now. All right. So let me check ano yung class ng object na bday. Kasi ba nag-create tayo ng object na bday, okay? And then the class of that is date siya. Date yung class. And we can get the month. Ano yung month ni bday? So the month is 10. So that's October. Kasi yung ano nga natin, yung syntax na ginamit natin, DMY, date, month, year. So if we get, for example, kunin na rin natin si year. Year ni bday. And then, semicolon, day ni bday. Right, so let's run this. Yan. Okay, month 10, year 1979, and day 14. We can also get the weekday. Anong araw? Anong araw? What day of the week is the specific date using the wday function, weekday. Label is equal to 2 will give us a day. Enter. There. So October 14, 1979 was a Sunday. Okay, and then ang level siya Sunday hanggang Saturday. Okay, kung tinanggal ko yung label na to, let me remove this. Dito ko na lang ilagay, no? Okay, ang ibibigay niya 1. Okay, 1. Bakit 1? Kasi yung leveling niya Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yung 1 Sunday yan. But if I want that the day be spelled out, then we include label is equal to true. Okay, so we can change, no? Suppose I'm creating this object called year ni birthday. Gusto kong 2016 siya. No? So I'm using this function year. Year nino ng object na birthday. Ang year niya kasi 1979, di ba? I want to change it to 2016. All right? So si B-Day ngayon, 2016 na yung year niya. Yan. UTC means Universal Time, I forgot the C. Pero ito yung dating GMT, yung Greenwich Meridian Time. Ngayon, UTC na yung pangalan. Okay, and the birthday is, all right, yan, no? October 14, 2016. And if we check the day, so it's a Friday. Ito, Friday siya. If your birthday was October 14, 2016. Right? So, what else? Right, ito. So we can also write it this way. So we're creating this object D1, YMD siya. So how will we this to be 2010, the year, and then the month is 12, and then the day is 15. Okay, so let me create this, and this is D1. But D1 is 2010, okay, December 15. Okay, pwede ring YDM. So what's important is yung mga functions. YMD, if we're creating an object, YMD, DMY, MDY, etc. Now, of course, we can have MDY, HMS, no? Month, day, year, ng hour, minutes, and seconds. So binibigay din yan. All right, so for example, itong now naman, it will give us the date now and then the specific time. Okay, the specific time. If we use today, it will just give us the specific day. All right. Okay, so the next thing that we want to, the next data structure that's of interest to us is matrices. Okay, matrices. Matrices are very important to us kasi later on, pag we will be dealing with objects that have to be in the form of matrix. Matrix, iba siya sa data frame, ano? Ang matrix, it's a two-dimensional data din, parang yung data frame. However, may ibang ano siya, may iba siyang structure, may iba siyang format. So ang command sa kanya matrix, and then you write the data, and then n row, n column, and then this one by row. So you have here the number of rows, the number of columns, and then you can specify kung by row siya or by column. So let me illustrate this. Okay, so we're creating this matrix, matrix A, and then ang laman niya, ito, we're concatenating these elements 2, 3, -2, 1, 2, 2. So ito yung laman ng matrix natin. And then n row, so we have 3 rows and then 3 columns. Okay, so let me annotate that. Okay, so we're creating this matrix 2, 3, -2, 1, 2. So how will this matrix be written? Sabi dito, 3 rows and 2 columns. So parang 3 rows, no? 1, 2, 3, and then 2 columns. 1, 2, 2 columns. 3 rows, 2 columns. So that's how our number will be arranged. Now, how will it be arranged? The default is pababa yung pag-arrange niya. So it will be written as 2, 3, -2, pababang ganon, no? Okay, so let me run that here. Okay, 2, 3, -2, 1, 2, 2, 3 rows, 2 columns. So that's matrix A. So print natin, Control A, there you go. Ito, no? Tingnan nyo, no? Two. 3, -2, and then 1, 2, 2. 3 rows, tingnan nyo to, no? 3 rows, 2 columns. This means first row and all the columns. Ito yun, diba? Diba ito sa subsetting natin, this is the number of row, this is the number of column. This is second row and then comma, nothing, which means everything here, kasi lahat ng columns kasama. Ito naman, ganun din. So how do you denote this, this column here? It's blank here, which means lahat ng rows kasama, and first column, ito yung first column. Okay, so that's just a review of how we denote a specific element. So for example, this one, this is 2, 1. 2, 1 to, no? Second row, first column. Okay, now, can you also rewrite it in another way? Yes, you can by ito, no? N row, N column, and then we can write by row is equal to true. So how will this be written if it's by row is equal to 2? Left to right naman. So magiging by row is equal to true. So magiging 2, 3, and then negative 2, 3, and then negative 2, 2. Let me just run this. Sige. All right, what happened? Kanina, 2, 3, negative 2, di ba? Ngayon, 2. Okay, wait. Control C para may comparison tayo. Control B. So, tanggalin ko muna to. Ito yung original natin kanina. And let me call this AA. Okay, ito A. So, let's run this too. Okay. Take a look at the difference. So, both are 3 by 2. Kasi sabi natin 3 rows and 2 columns, ba? 3 and 2. Pero the way the numbers are written is different. Kasi ito, by row is equal to true. It wrote here the numbers, yung 2, 3, 2, 3, negative 2, 1, 2, 2. Pakanan, no? Pakanan. So that's what happens when we write by row is equal to true. The numbers will be written row-wise, from left to right. Okay? If you don't put anything there, the default will always be by column yung pagsulat. Okay, how about this? A1. Hindi natin define yung columns, no? Hindi natin define. Pero it will still run A1. Bakit? Bakit? Kasi understood na ni R na kung 3 yung columns, 3 yung rows, 2 yung columns, no? Okay. Right, so it dito 3 and then we did not specify the columns. What if we don't specify the rows? Magkakaproblema ba? Row, column, tingnan nyo, nag-error siya, no? Nag-error siya. Ibig sabihin, may missing value ka dito. So if I run this, 8, 2, 2, 3, negative 2, nag-run din siya, no? Nag-run din siya. Kaso, question niya yung syntax natin. Okay, if let's create, I'm going to do A3. There. So was A3 created? Create ba si A3? Let me see. Create si A3. Create si A3, which is correct. Pero sa syntax, remind tayo na may missing value dito. Okay, so what's the class of A? Kasi dito ginamit natin matrix, no? Let me just complete this para walang error. Okay, dito, ano yung class ni A? See that this is a matrix or array. It's not a data frame, no? Because a data frame is different. Okay, so question is that matrix A, is A a matrix? True. Is that vector A? Okay, false. So A is not a vector. Okay. Is that data frame? Is that data that frame? Is A a data frame? False pa rin, no? So it's not a data frame kasi 'di ba ang data frame dapat may mga pangalan yung mga columns natin. Ito wala naman, no? Wala namang pangalan yung ano natin, yung mga columns natin. And the dimension will be 3 by 2. 3 rows and 2 columns. All right. This is what I mentioned a while ago. Okay. Just call this A4. All right. Yung by row is equal to 2, which I ran already a while ago. So, paano lang yan? Pababa. Okay. And then, you can multiply a scalar quantity with matrix. So, we're creating this object C, and it's equal to 3. And we can multiply A by number 3. So, everything there was multiplied by all the elements there. Multiplied by 3. All right. Then we can also have addition and subtraction. You can have matrix addition and subtraction if they have the same size. They have the same dimension. So here I'm creating this matrix B. Yan, no? 3 by 2 din siya. So we can add this to A. So here I'm creating this matrix C, and I'm adding matrix A and matrix B. Matrix A is a 3 by 2 matrix. Matrix B is a 3 by 2 matrix also. And we can add them. So the C matrix just added everything. And also the D will just subtract A minus B. So ganun lang yan. Okay. But if we have, let's say, C matrix. So this is a 2 by 2 matrix. Create natin GZ. 2 by 2 siya. And then if we add A plus Z, it will be an error. Kasi hindi tayo pwedeng mag-add na matrices na magkaiba yung dimension, magkaiba yung size. Okay. All right. So in this portion now, we're creating a matrix E. Yung si matrix E kanina pareho lang ni A. I just renamed it as E. And then here I'm creating this matrix F, which is 2 by 3 naman siya. Let's generate this. Okay, so we have this matrix, 3 by 2 matrix, and a 2 by 3 matrix. Okay, let me just discuss with you. So matrix E is 3 by 2. Matrix F is 2 by 3. Now the question is, when are two matrices multiplicable? Say Julian, thank you. PM mo na lang ako para ma-remind ako. All right. So when are two matrices multiplicable? Okay, two matrices are multiplicable if see, this is row, di ba? Row, column. You name the row first and then the column. Two matrices are multiplicable if the column of the first matrix is the same as the row of the second matrix. Okay, yan. 2, 2. So okay sila. Pwede silang i-multiply. And the resultant matrix is 3 by 3. Yung mga outer measures. Yung row ng first and column ng second. So we're able to generate a matrix with a dimension 3 by 3. Okay, sige. Let's show that here. So it's E is 3 by 2, F is 2 by 3. Then pwede ma-multiply yan kasi pareho yung column ng first matrix kaysa sa row ng second matrix. And the resulting size is 3 by 3. So let's try this. Generate na natin si column E at saka si F. And ang matrix mag-a-appear dito sa data. So E and F. Ito. Sa matrix. So let's multiply and let's generate this object called G. Control Enter. And there you go. There you go. We will not go into the manual multiplication of matrices. Okay. All right. Now, it's important to note that matrices There's no such thing as commutativity as far as matrix multiplication is concerned. So we were able to show that E times F is okay. E times F is okay. Okay. But how about F times E? Is there commutativity in matrix multiplication? Let's check. What's the size? What's the dimension of F? What's the size? F is 2 by 3. 2 by 3. And E is 3 by 2. 3 by 2. So are these two matrices multiplicable? Let's check. Let's check the column of the first matrix and then the row of the second matrix. Are they the same? Yes. So they're multiplicable. However, the dimension is the resultant matrix is 2 by 2. So iba siya kaysa dun sa E times F. Kasi si E times F, this is 3 by 2. And then si F is 2 by 3. Yes, it's multiplicable kasi parehong 2 to. Pero ang resulting size nito, 3 by 3. So the resulting matrix is different from F by E, no? F times E. In fact, if this condition fails, then the two matrices are not multiplicable. Kunyari, E is 2 by 3. If E is 2 by 3, what happens? Can we pre-multiply F? No. Kasi 3 and 2 are not the same, so F and E cannot be multiplied. All right, let me clear this, close this. So let's see. This is the result of, let's see, F. What's the result of, sorry, this is F times E. So F is 2 by 3 multiplied by 3 by 2. We have a resulting size of 2 by 2. On the other hand, H is E times F. So the resulting size is 3 by 3. There. Okay. So let's take a look at this. Let's create this matrix J, and it's 1 by 3. No? 1 row, 3 columns. Let's multiply this. Okay, let's generate this 1 row, 3 columns. So pwede ba siyang i-multiply kay A? Tingnan natin. Let's check. So again, take note of the order. Hindi pa pwedeng commutative to, hindi pwedeng A times J. J is 1 by 3. And A is 3 by 2. So it's multiplicable, pwede. Kasi equal to, so the resulting size is 1 by 2. Okay. How about A times J? If on the other hand, it's A times J, this is 3 by 2. And this is 1 by 3. So, cannot be. They do not conform. Non-conformable sila. So, J times A is okay. A times J is not okay. Okay, so let's run this. We're creating this matrix J, right? J times A, okay, gave us 1 by 2. And then, is A times J okay? No, they're not conformable. Okay. So next is the transpose of a matrix. Transpose of a matrix is very easy. So this is A, right? The transpose of a matrix will just make the rows into columns and columns into rows. In other words, ito ngayon, itong column na to, magiging row, nasa row na siya. Okay? Itong row na to, magiging nasa column na siya. Okay, so let's name this object. Let's create an object called AT, and then the function for transpose is T. So let's run this both. All right, you can see now. So 2, 3, negative 2, which is column wise, has now become row wise, 2, 3, negative 2. So that's what the transpose function does. Okay, let's create this object ATT, which is the transpose of the transpose of A. So it will just revert back to the original data. Diba? Okay, lahat natin i-run. So, babalik lang siya dun sa dati. Kasi transpose natin, and then kinuha ulit natin yung transpose ng transpose. Okay, so that's what a transpose of a matrix is. Now, how about a unit vector? a unit vector like this. Let's create this object Q matrix 1, 3. No? 1, okay. So ito yung element natin, di ba? Ito yung data natin, 1. And then 3 rows and 1 column. Let's see what this is. There. Okay, di ba? 1 and row and column. So 3 rows and 1 column. So this is what we call a unit vector. Ibig sabihin lahat ng isang row lang siya, and then lahat all are 1 pag unit. Okay, then 0 vector naman. Okay, 0 lahat. Okay. All right, then we have here some, okay, ito naman, matrix naman to, no? So here we're creating a matrix, U1, 1 siya, 3 rows and 2 columns. So lahat dito are 1. Dito naman lahat 0, 3 columns and 2 rows. So pag matrix class, yung first here is the data, and the second is the row, third is the column. Okay, so lahat 0. All right, then a few more things here for matrix. So here we have a matrix. Ito yung data natin. And then 3 rows, 3 columns. So if we run this, so we have C here, okay, 3 rows, 3 columns. And then we can get the diagonal. So we're creating here the object W, and it's this is diagonal of S. The diagonal of S is this one, 2, 2, 3. Okay, so let's generate W and let's print it there. So W is a vector, 2, 2, 3. Okay, check natin, class ni W. Okay, so it's a numeric vector. Ito. And let's now create this ganun din to, no? Diagonal. Now, how about this? W1 and its diagonal of W. So what happened here? So we created this object W, W1, and kinuha natin yung diagonal ni W. Okay, what does that mean? W kasi are the numbers 2, 2, and 3. Then we're stating now that gumawa siya ng matrix na ang diagonals are 2, 2, 2, 3. Okay, so since hindi natin define kung anong laman niya, 0 yung naging elements ng iba, but the diagonals are 2, 2, 3. Okay, how about this one? I3. Diagonal niya is 1, 1, 1. So let's run this. So run din natin itong isa. Yan. So you can see now this. So 1 lahat yung diagonal. Okay, and this one is also 1 lahat yung diagonals. Okay, so just a few more lines here. Here we're creating an object called L. It's also a matrix, 3 by 3 then. Parang repeat lang to, no? And we get the transpose of this. Transpose natin siya. Okay, pareho din. Okay, so this is what we call a symmetric matrix. Iraran ko siya pareho. What's a symmetric matrix? Yung symmetric matrix class, yung transpose niya is the same as the matrix. Diba? Ito yung matrix natin, 2, 1, 5, 1, 3, 4, 5, 4, negative 2. When we get the transpose of the matrix L, it's the same. Okay, so this is what we call a symmetric matrix kasi yung mirror image niya, 1 is the same as itself. 5 and 5, 4 and 4. So this is what we call a symmetric. Okay. Now the inverse of a matrix, this is very important. Okay, so let's create this object M. Okay, ito yung M natin na object na matrix. And then we will generate the inverse of this matrix. So the function to get the inverse of a matrix is solve. So here I'm calling it Mi, and then I'm solving for the inverse of a matrix. So this is the inverse of matrix M. Okay, the inverse of a matrix is very important. Why? Number one, you can only get the inverse of a square matrix. Notice that M is 3 by 3. There's no such thing as the inverse of a non-square matrix. So 3 by 3, 4 by 4, 2 by 2, we can get the inverse of that. Not always. May mga non-invertible mga matrices. Right. For example, for this one, what if we multiply the matrix with its inverse? Let's see what will happen. Okay. Can you see this? So when you multiply a matrix with its inverse, you always get an identity matrix. This is what an identity matrix is. The diagonals are 1 and all the other elements are 0. And then vice versa natin, we can do this kasi square naman siya, di ba? 3 by 3, then 3 by 3. This is also 3 by 3, 3 by 3. So pareho lang. Remember, you can only get the inverse of a square matrix. Pareho din. No? So kahit na if a matrix has an inverse, when you multiply that matrix with its inverse, you get an identity matrix. When you multiply the inverse of the matrix by the matrix, you also get an identity matrix. Okay, so this is just like the unity principle in multiplication. Any number times 1 will give you the number. 1 times any number will give you 1. So parang ito yung equivalent na unity principle in multiplication in algebra. Okay. So let's have this. All right. Here we're creating this object called C. Okay, it's a 3 by 3 matrix. Ito. And then we will compute for the inverse of C. I'll just call it CI using solve. And then i-round off na lang natin yung mga digits. Three digits. Let's solve for this. All right, so this is the answer. This is the inverse of C. Okay, let's try to compute now. Multiply C times CI. I-round lang natin yung answer to 0 decimal places. Okay. All right. So, di ba may inverse si C? Na-solve natin inverse ni C. Okay, since it has an inverse, when we multiply C with its inverse, it will give us an identity matrix. And same thing with the inverse multiplied by C. This will also give us an identity matrix. Okay. All right. Now, the last is the determinant of a matrix. Okay, so let's have this object C again, C, this one. And to get the determinant of a matrix, we use this function det ng C, and we call it, in this case, letter D. All right, and the determinant is -102. Now, what we can say is that if the determinant of a matrix is not equal to 0, then the matrix will have an inverse. Okay? So kung yung determinant ng isang matrix not equal to 0, then magkakaroon may inverse matrix. Okay. So let's take a look at R. Ito. So R is 2, 4, 4, 8. Yeah, 2, 4, 4, 8. And let me first get the determinant. determinant of R. Okay, sabi natin, pag ang determinant nito 0, hindi siya magkakaroon, walang inversion. Right? Oh, the determinant is 0, no? The determinant is 0. Okay, so let's try to get the inverse of R. So Ri, solve natin si R, let's see. Ano nangyari? Alright. Wala daw, no? Walang inverse si R. Paano natin nalaman? Kasi yung determinant niya 0, no? Now, if I get, since wala siyang determinant, hindi tayo makakapag-multiply nito ng R times Ri. So, error din yan. Kasi walang inverse yung R. Okay? So, lastly, yung concatenation lang, yung combining, no? So here I'm creating this object called P. It's a 3x2 matrix. And then also this Q, 3x2 matrix. Yan natin siya. Yan. We can actually combine this using either the C bind or the R bind. Pag C bind, ang gagawin natin, si P muna, tapos si Q naman, ipapasok natin yung columns ni Q. Yan. So magkakaroon tayo ngayon ng 2, 3, negative 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 3, 2, and 1, 4, 2. Ito yun. This is the horizontal concatenation. Column bind. So let's run this. Itong tatlong to. Yan. So we now have, this is P, but this is Q, and then this is horizontal bind. We now have this matrix where we combined yung columns ni P and Q. And lastly, we have this, the vertical concatenation. So we create this object called B. R bind naman natin si P and Q. Let's see what happens. Okay. Ito naman yung R bind. Pinagsama niya yung mga rows. No? So this is the row of P, and then inappend niya yung row of Q. That's R bind. Okay. So that ends our discussion for this specific lesson, Introduction to R and mga functionalities niya. Now, I hope you practice with this. Okay, I hope you practice with these questions here. Okay. Thank you so much. And that will be
Sir?
all. Yes. Dali,
For attendance po,
okay,
I was not around.
Sandali lang, sandali.